And finally, Channel 4 sitcom that's already been recommissioned, as we mentioned in the news, Catastrophe. I think Luke should start with this one because he was the one who sort of saw it on preview and was bigging it up to me and Gary.
Yeah, not Gary. I knew it wouldn't be his thing, but yeah, it's a 6-part comedy. Sharon Horgan, who we loved in Pulling, and
that other thing she was in on BBC.
And what was that? Oh God, what was it called?
What was she in BBC Three? It was in a prison.
Oh, Dead Boss. That's
Dead Boss.
Very funny, guys.
An American comic, Rob Delaney. They've written this together. It's about a pair who have a couple of one-night stands together and then end up pregnant and decide that they're going to do. They both end up, but she ends up keeping it. And so they decide that we'll pull ourselves together and raise the baby. They don't love each other, but they like each other enough to hang around one another.
It's sort of a bit like Knocked Up, isn't it? But a more sort of charming Knocked Up as a thing.
That is now the tagline for the entire podcast, the Custom TV podcast, a more charming version of Knocked Up. I really enjoyed this. I love the rhythm in Sharon Horgan's dialogue. I know she's co-written this with Rob Delaney, but you can hear her in there.
One thing I will bring up with you...
She's acting in it, so of course you can hear
One thing I will bring up to you as well is that this had quite a lot of sexual stuff in it as well. I mean, the first... And you didn't have a problem with that as the one, you had with Cucumber.
It's weird, isn't it? I suppose because Pulling had the same as well.
Mm.
And yet
the Tanya Frank's character in Pulling was just all
just
about
sex on legs all the time. But I don't know why. Perhaps I was sort of less in the mood. Sounds wrong. I'm not going to say in the mood. But I was less ready for it.
Is it fair to say, and without wanting to go too far down this line, homosexual scenes on television still are done to shock a little bit. But I think
certainly the scenes in Cucumber were more, drawn out. And there was more of them.
I think they overdid it in Cucumber. Perhaps
the tone of obviously the scenes in Catastrophe as well were sort of more overtly comic, and they sort of didn't. It was all leading somewhere to obviously the pregnancy story, and I liked.
It was played for laughs, whereas in Cucumber it wasn't. It was just there for because they could.
What I would say with this one is that I found it really enjoyable and funny while I was watching it, but it's sort of I can't really remember a lot of it now. I remember obviously the basis of the plot, and I remember the sort of awkward scenes with the Ashley Jensen character towards the end. Towards the end of the episode, but it's one that I'm going to keep up with because I enjoyed the characters, and it seems very charming, and as you say, it's very much like Pulling. And Gary,
I think you'll enjoy episode 2 a lot more if you do.
Gary?
The comedy just wasn't for me. I just didn't find it that funny.
We did say, didn't we, that we
I did say it was slowly getting to know each other.
I think the only thing that I found reasonably funny was the fact that when he goes back to America, he's chatting up somebody else, and the phone number that comes up on his phone is UK Sex. I thought that was reasonably humorous, and the fact that he said it was his mother, and then he's outside on his knees, crying or whatever because she says she's pregnant, and the woman is looking through thinking, blimey, what's going on? That's reasonably funny, but I just didn't find the rest of it that funny.
I think it is the only comedy on television now, and it is the only comedy on telly worth watching at the moment. I think you'll enjoy episode 2 a lot more. I think the problem with episode 1 of anything, as we've said many a time on the podcast, is the job of episode 1 is not only to draw you into whatever the situation is, but they've got to introduce who people are. And that
I thought there was a fair few laughs for a first episode, and as I say, especially with the sort of awkwardness of the dinner party with the Ashley Jensen character. And the sort of about her work as a what do you call them? Like someone who deals in homeopathy, is that right?
Or
homeopaths.
Homeopath.